What's he laughing?
Is it time? we got our floor directors cracking up here. This is going to go into the what do they call that in the movies where anyway. Well, we're back. The last show of the year with Freedom Forum on this, the 17th day of the 12th month, year of our Lord Jesus the Christ, 2014. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this year we just completed. We ask that you would help us to get through the next year. We know it's going to be more interesting than this year was. And give us the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to do your will in all things. In Jesus the Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, folks, you can look for next year being more interesting than this year. You think this year went by fast? Just wait. Yeah, Jim's going to have a commentary shortly about this past year.
Wow.
The last Freedom Forum meeting of the year will be tomorrow night at Elise's at 6:30. And it will be our last meeting until the 14th of next year. The January 1st is our normal first Thursday, but they're not going to be open, so we'll go ahead and just cancel it. I'll be getting an email out to everybody and let everybody know tomorrow night. And then the show, we won't have a show for 3 weeks. Both the next two shows are on Eves, Christmas and New Year's, respectively. So we won't be back on until the 8th. 7th? Yeah, there it is. What's the 8th? Oh, you're on the 8th. Your meeting's on the 8th.
Ours is on the 8th.
Acadiana Patriots meeting will be on the 8th at, you want to go ahead and fill them in real quick?
Yeah, it'll be January 8th. What we're working on for that meeting is to get somebody to come and talk about the fair tax. Also was brought up at our last meeting about the changes in Obamacare and the cost and what the comparison is from one thing to another and the increase. So I'm looking, if anybody knows of an insurance agent or someone that could go into that cost analysis about 20 minutes and explain some of the things, we definitely need to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
That's about it for now on that meeting.
And, we won't close with this. We'll go ahead and mention the new product we're going to be pushing next year. It's called Ghost Pop. And if anybody wants to market Ghost Pop, just let me know. The only requirement is that you've got to have a green screen on your TV.
Ray's meeting will be on the 10th.
Ah, yes. Ray's Constitutional Study Group meeting will be on Saturday the 10th of next month at 10 o'clock.
Thomas Park.
Yeah, we'll mention that on the next show too, on the 7th. That'll be that Saturday at 10 o'clock at Thomas Park. Okay. The Ghost Pop, again, if anybody's interested, just email me. On that note, I've got a comment about the I told you so. I've told you so several times, and it happened. Don't think that the Republicrats are going to save you from what's been going on in Washington. They've already proven Bustani and the new guy, the new senator, who's still a representative, both voted for that piece of garbage bill, the 1.1 trillion.
Cromnibus.
The Cromnibus.
Don't say Cromnibus.
No. The
Cromnibus.
Package, $1.1 trillion it's full of, how many,
Oh,
there's all kinds of add-ons and pork barrel
you can't
things.
even
and-
begin.
Yeah, it's just full of crap.
Everybody got taken care of, except us.
Yeah, the people didn't
They
get
didn't
taken
give
care
us
of.
anything.
No,
You know the one thing that gets me, and we were talking about it before the show, everybody was shocked that Cassidy voted for that. And I'm
Yeah.
going, what? You had to know. There was two Democrats running against each other, actually.
yeah,
I mean, it was no shock to me that he voted for the bill, and a whole lot of other people that I know.
yeah.
Now all we gotta do is see what happens when he becomes a senator.
Yeah. Well, that's why we call them rhinos. And in that bill, there's $10 million to protect rhinos. Only the RHINOs, not the RINOs. Is
Yeah.
that not the?
Oh yeah, we're in the
The-
rhinoceros business.
Yeah, the U.S. government's in the rhinoceros business in Africa. This is to protect them in Africa, which they have no business spending any. If you people want money to go to protect the rhinos in Africa, then by all means, give your own money to the rhinos in Africa.
And-
But as far as the U.S. government having anything to do with that, no. And we're going to talk more about the U.S. government and these.
Already that money got put in there for the quote-unquote illegal, undocumented.
Yeah, Obama got everything he wanted out of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That was no compromise. And of course, there's rumors about Bonnier that the NSA had something on him, is why it all happened that way.
I read a little.
wouldn't be surprised
I went a
about
little
that.
deeper in that. They do have stuff on Boehner.
Yep, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Boner does not strike me as being the moral guy.
And that is how Washington works.
Yeah, sure. Oh, well. Other note, before we get into other things deeply, and this hit close to home, an acquaintance of ours that everybody here knows
Yeah.
died yesterday due to a tragic firearms accident. I won't say who did what, but I'll say that somebody cleaning a firearm made 3 mistakes. Did not check to see if it was unloaded 3 times, pointed the weapon in an unsafe direction, and had finger on trigger. And now a good man, a good patriot is dead. So he did not do it. Somebody else did it. No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. You break it. It's broken already. That's why it's like that. Okay. So folks, I can't stress enough proper firearms handling. And safety, of course, number one is this stays off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. At all times. Okay?
How many times have you?
Well, again, this is the problem that, and of course the anti-gunners jump on these kinds of things. See, there was some idiot, who was it? Was it the governor that was interviewed recently in one of these imbecile states that had just filed or signed something in this latest
Probably
session?
in New York.
And he was going through all the mantra that you're more likely to kill yourself or be killed by your gun in your house than you are likely to kill an intruder or to use it to protect yourself, which is a bald-faced lie. And it was on Cam Edwards' show that he was showing this interview, and he did not afterwards sit down and refute the lies that this guy was putting out. And folks, we have to do that at every opportunity. That most of the problems with firearms accidental like this, they're not accidents. First of all, an accident is when a tree falls on your house. That was negligence on somebody's part. And negligence is not an accident. An accident is caused by our Heavenly Father. Negligence is caused by stupidity on the part of somebody down here. Unfortunately, it's not always the victim of that negligent incident that is injured, or in this case, killed. So, all right. Yes?
There's one comment, that the legislation that they voted on, I wonder how many people realize that they eliminated the part supposedly protects the taxpayers from paying for the derivatives market when it collapses.
Yeah,
Dodd-Frank, even though it's government intervention, was supposed to protect the taxpayers from not having to pay for that collapse, which is gonna come.
yeah.
Trillions of dollars. Well, the Republicans voted for that.
Mm-hmm. And a whole lot of demon rats voted for it.
I really
So-
think that they didn't wanna argue about this, cause they wanted to be going for Christmas.
Yeah, that was even
There's no doubt in
mentioned,
my mind.
that was even mentioned by some people that,
There's no,
they rushed
doubt.
this thing through to get home. Now, they did have to do something today about making sure that all these little tax breaks that were supposed to expire December 31st, but, the tax breaks expired like this week, and so they had to make sure that they are all still in effect until December 31st, which a 2-week time frame in there, and they had to pass a special bill to keep these little pissant tax breaks in effect. And again, the inmates are running the asylum, and we got incident after incident that we can
see,
refer
the other
back to.
thing is, what was the thing that Pelosi said about Obamacare?
That you're not
We
gonna know
gotta
what's in it.
pass the
You gotta
bill
pass it
to
before
find
you-
out
yeah.
what's in it. Well, let me ask you this. There were 1,600 to 1,700 pages in
Yeah.
Cromnibus. How many of those 535 representatives and senators do you think even read the bill?
Well, here's a big problem with all that stuff too.
And
That
why
thing
was
was-
that 1,700 pages?
That thing was full of garbage that had nothing to do with a budget.
Mm-hmm.
They were loading it down with these earmarks and these special interest items that should have been handled by separate legislation. But they do the same thing to the Defense Authorization Act every year. That's why last year's NDAA, or the one before that, was so full of garbage that was very onerous stuff that we're gonna have to, we may well have to fight very soon.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that irritates me is Social Security recipients got a 1.7% raise.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, my Medicare went up $5 a month.
Let's see, so you got what, a $3 raise, and you got a $5 increase in your Medicare? Yeah. Well,
But that isn't the part that really irritates me, because I knew the $5 thing was coming. But how much money did we put in there for the illegal aliens?
yeah, it was all in there. Everything that Obama wanted,
So you
you got.
give our people who paid into Social Security their whole life a 1.7% raise. And you're gonna give all this stuff. Why do they think that people are getting ticked off?
Well, it's obvious that the Republicans didn't learn their lesson after the election. They figured we've been mandated by this stuff, so we're gonna do what we
I
damn
got
well please.
another
And that's what I warned you about. This is not gonna end well.
And this happened on a local, but hey, get ready. Another Bush in the White House.
Well, that's what they're talking now about it. He's all of a sudden, old Jebby boy is getting all kinds of publicity.
And in the poll they just ran, he's behind Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know why? Common Core.
Yeah, he's a big time Common Core supporter. We don't know where Romney is.
No, we
We
don't.
don't know where on that, but Romney's probably a Common Coreist also,
Oh, yeah.
because that's
and,
right
and
up his
everybody
alley.
thinks Huckabee's this great guy.
But he's for Common
He's
Core
pro
too.
Common
Yeah.
Core too.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, duh.
Well, we got to get it eliminated here in Louisiana, and then
Well-
the feds, to heck with them. We're not going to worry about them
Just
in
understand
that
that
regard,
the
especially.
totality of Common Core will never totally go away
No,
because of many things. You want me to do
there's
my
too much money.
2014 thing? Or
No.
Huh?
No,
No?
you wait till at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be on till at least midnight with the stuff we got to finish. But since we
Yeah,
can't
right.
do anything the next
Let's
3
see,
weeks,
I only got
yeah.
I could have.
Yeah, we'll just keep rolling, and if they cut us off, oh well.
I was sitting at the desk at
Well,
around
you can go
6
ahead and-
o'clock
go
this
ahead,
evening, and I said, you know what, I need to look at 2014, and we need to talk a little bit about 2014. Tom and I always say, and he has all this stuff and all this stuff, and I got my stuff, and we never get through it. So I want to give you an example of 2014 and why we can't get through this stuff. The first thing I started on, I said, what is it really about? And I'm going to answer that when I'm done. Okay, the EPA, climate change. They're going to shut down the coal mines because they make too much, what is it? Green
Well,
gas?
the coal, when it's used, makes too much carbon dioxide.
Carbon
It
dioxide.
produces too much, yeah, okay.
We have the pipeline. We were talking about that. The oil goes through the pipeline, but this is going to add to the environment.
Yeah, somebody this weekend at the gun show gave me a picture
It
of
was-
one of the pipeline fires. Where'd I put it? Dadgummit.
What you need done, these are
Anyway.
things from 2014, the
These-
stuff
it-
that's going on.
Yeah, by the way, that wasn't a pipeline fire. It was a fire from the
From the
train.
train.
The train blew up.
Yeah, well,
And-
the other thing there, and
The horizon's covered
Oh,
with
yeah,
fire.
that's the
When
one
a
I
train
did.
blows up, but train carrying the oil that would have been in the pipeline.
yeah, that was in Canada.
Yep.
Okay, and, so you have the EPA, which should be eliminated totally. Then we had the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment stuff all year, and the 24th or whatever is gonna happen. All I know is gun rights, December 24th, the UN. Keep in mind that statement, UN. First Amendment rights, we've talked about this all year. Free speech. What is free speech? You know, you got the atheist. Actually, when I was traveling yesterday in New Orleans, I saw a demonstration of atheists. And you know what? There was no media there. Interesting. I almost stopped, but I thought, no, I better not do that. You have the internet. Net neutrality. What is that? You know, and they want to put a tax on everything on the internet.
Yep.
So now we have all the things going on in racism, very touchy subject. Okay, why is this happening? Why Sharpton, Jackson, Farrakhan, Obama, Holder? You know, they talk about it being, you know, a real issue. I don't think so.
They made it an issue.
They made it an issue. They wanted to do this, and you'll know why when I read the next thing that I wrote down. Okay, so that's one of the issues. Then, oh, it's not the. We have the IRS, NSA, Benghazi, and so on and so forth scandals.
You forgot Fast and Furious. That came out
Oh yeah,
indirectly this
I forgot to
year.
write that one. Then we have our favorite subject: out of control immigration. The borders are secured. Just ask Nancy Pelosi. She said the borders are secured.
We're gonna sell her some of our ghost pop.
Yeah, we're going to sell her the ghost pop. You know, and out of control immigration. How about out of control president on immigration? You know, I just mentioned all this money going. We don't have it, and we're gonna. I gotta. This will be a very good thing we're going to talk about in a little bit. It's called welfare payout statistics. Okay, then you have education. I mean, Common Core, big money, government control. Congress, not for the people, but for themselves. I saw a really good thing the other day. We ought to just pay them $35,000 with no benefits. How fast do you think stuff would get fixed?
Well, they'd have to go get another job, and they couldn't stay around in Washington with all of this monkey shines they do now. So
That I could have gone on and on. There's more.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, this is just part of the list, quite a long list. But what is this all about? And every one of these things ties together with something that's going on. And it's called one world government. And y'all laugh. But the big deal about all of this stuff is control. Common Core education, it's got nothing to do with education. Nothing. The one thing I didn't mention, Obamacare. Got nothing to do with health care. Nothing. It has to do with control. The key word is control. We have an awesome DVD, Grinding Down America, that the Patriots have, and we just take a small donation for what we paid for it. You need to get that DVD, that video, and watch it, because it really explains how we got to where we are. My question is now, and we kind of talked at this at the last, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? You're going to sit on your couch and yell at the TV and scream at Pelosi and Obama on the TV? Or are you going to get off your butt and fight? You know, I don't know people in this country. I mean, we know that we're in a lot of trouble, and it's not going to get recovered quickly. But we do and we can win some of this back. And we can't give up. And the biggest key to all of this is putting God back in everything. We need to put God back in the schools. We need to put the prayer back in the schools. And the atheists, they can, well, I can't say that on TV. But the whole thing is that we lost our moral values. We lost our, I mean, it's just
Our moral, yeah, exactly.
our
what it
moral
is.
values.
We've taken Jehovah out of the government. We've taken him out of the schools.
And not just in the last 6 years.
And of course,
either.
no, this is an ongoing, this is a gradual thing. Otherwise, people would have risen up long ago if it had been more in your face like it is now. If things, this is not the same country I grew up in.
No.
If things were like this back then the old folks that are our parents and grandparents back then would have risen up and taken care of business back then.
Cool.
But they were lulled into complacency by sports and other forms of entertainment, as portrayed in Aldous Huxley's book, A Brave New World, or the encroachment of the police state cowed many of them. I mean, we've had people say they're not going to come to our meetings because they're afraid of getting arrested.
Exactly.
What?
Same.
Excuse me?
Same here.
So that's
It's like-
George Orwell's 1984. You use the big stick and keep them intimidated by that. But now, folks, hey, we're going to continue the fight into next year.
Cool.
I'm already dead. I just hadn't quit breathing yet. And you'd better adopt that same attitude. Or you can be like a lot of the pseudo-Christians and think, I'm going to go to heaven, but I'm not going to die to get there. What? Excuse me? Do you know of any Christian that's gone to heaven without dying first? Not happening. Has not happened, will not happen. Okay? Get that out of your head.
We need.
You can do things like what's coming up here at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center next month in Baton Rouge. There's going to be a prayer rally. And front page of the Advocate today, on into the 6th page, Governor Jindal's going to be there.
Well,
And the only reason it's on the front
he said
page,
he was going to be at a meeting the other night
yeah,
too.
the only reason it's on the front page is because there's a backlash brewing.
What's
okay.
the date? What's the date?
It's let me somewhere in here. Southern Poverty Law Center has jumped into it. A communistic, satanic organization, and I can give you details about them. Their founder, Morris Dees, is a child molester, as proven in court records in his divorce when he was branded a child molester.
That's what we want, leading the charge.
Yeah, we need a child molester telling us what to do when it comes to prayer rallies, okay?
I don't think so.
But he's not the only hate group, and he's branded the outfit that's sponsoring this,
Who's
Mississippi-based
sponsoring? Who is
American Family Association.
Who is it?
American Family Association is the guys that are sponsoring
AFA.
this.
Oh, I get their emails.
They branded them the most hateful anti-gay voices in America and classified them as a hate group. Well, excuse me, apparently child molesters are okay. But
American Family.
this is one good thing. Prayer Guide posted on their website for the response has sought to tie natural disasters, including Hurricane Katrina, to a growth in the acceptance of same-sex marriage and abortion.
What?
Well, yeah, that's the AFA's website. That's one reason they're calling them a hate group against sodomites, okay?
Oh, God.
Quote, it's unfortunately not uncommon for these types of ideas to be perpetrated and spoken even by important figures such as our governor, said an LSU student who is one of those people and has organized a protest. And the people with AFA have invited the protesters to come share a prayer. They haven't said they're going to protest the protesters. They just said, y'all come, maybe you'll learn something.
But where's the date? Is there a date?
January 24th.
Okay.
But I'm sure it's going to be on their website too. But folks, this thing needs to be well attended. In fact, we need to get a convoy going over there. The haters, the real haters in this country are going to be outside with their signs. Those are the real haters. The Christians are trying to get them to change their ways to where they'll survive after death and go to heaven instead of hell. But you see, what's very interesting is that the haters, the real haters, are attacking the First Amendment rights of the people in attendance. Okay? They're attacking several of the First Amendment rights. Establishment of a religion, freedom of speech, of press, and right of the people peaceably to assemble. All but one of the Article 1 rights that we possess are being challenged by a very vocal, noisy minority. Now, yes, the rights of the minority are to be protected by the Bill of Rights. But this is not an attack upon the rights of that minority group. This is an attack upon the rights of the people that are attending the rally, that want to have the rally. These people would advocate that LSU not allow this rally to occur, this prayer rally to
It's
occur
gonna
on
happen
LSU
on
campus. Yeah, at the Pete Maravich Center.
Oh, my God.
Okay? And we'll wait and see if LSU tumbles to this kind of rank political pressure, shall we say blackmail and extortion of the kind that the Rainbow Coalition and PUSH like to throw out there. All you got to do is threaten these people with, oh, we're going to sue you, or we're going to call you racist, or we're going to call you prejudiced, or we're going to call you homophobe in the media, and these bureau rats, and that's what they are, bureau rats, not crats, they're bureau rats, go running to the hills. They got more money than brains to protect themselves from this kind of stuff. They're protected under the rules of the corporate America already. So they don't have to worry about them getting sued. It's just, oh, well, it's going to look bad on our organization, et cetera, et cetera. No, no. To hell with that.
Just imagine.
You've got to stand up to these people. And that's what's going on. 16 is going to be a whole lot of next year, 15 is going to be a whole lot of backlash to this kind of stuff.
Well, the people are awakened.
We need to attend this rally in Baton Rouge in January.
Yeah,
And we'll let you know more about that next year.
Just think if they would have said they were doing this on the steps of the Capitol.
Oh, we did it. We've had Second Amendment rallies on the steps of the Capitol.
Yeah, but I mean.
Okay. But see, that they can't stop because they had their rallies
Yeah,
They had their governor, what was his name? I'm at mental block. When we first got started, we covered the rally when he said he wanted to do away with Foster. They had their
Foster,
anti-Foster
Foster.
rally. The other side had the anti-Foster rally on the steps of the Capitol. Okay, and at the old field that's right next to the governor's mansion, they started there. They had a great big rally there, and then moved over to the Capitol.
see, and then we're more organized this year with Common Core. April 23rd is gonna be Common Core Day at the Capitol,
Oh,
whether
Good.
there's an education meeting or not.
good.
This is
But-
being organized now.
Yep, that's what you got to do. And then this thing here is being organized for toward the end of January. So be ready, folks. Now, of course, the advocate has got to slant this. Jindal's attending because he has ambitions for the 2016 presidential election and all this crap. Well,
This is all part of the list I wrote.
yeah, this kind of stuff. It's like today. They announced about this poor child in a small Kansas school got suspended for 5 days because he brought an empty brass cartridge case to school and showed it to one of his friends. He got suspended 5 days for that. What? A piece of scrap brass? Excuse me? But then again, they've suspended children and banned them from flights and all this stuff for having a toy gun, because in the rules it says no firearms. Last time I checked, a plastic gun could not hurt anybody. It was not a firearm. It was merely, we can't draw if we draw a picture of a firearm and have it posted on our shirt, if we wear an NRA t-shirt to get on the airplane, are we going to be banned because there's a picture of a gun on it?
Probably.
I mean, this stuff has gone too far, people.
Well,
You've let it get this far. You have let it happen. You're still flying.
Exactly.
Have you boycotted the airlines because of this? I guarantee you, if enough of you boycott the airlines because of this kind of garbage, you get some results.
Well, it's like the cartoon where they show the three boys sitting outside the principal's office. And the first boy got in trouble for this, the second boy got in trouble for this, and they asked the third boy what did he do? And he said, I said Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Tom's right. Yeah, if you're a parent and the school wants to suspend your child for saying Merry Christmas, you need to be there and stand up.
Remember somebody at the gun show or somebody at your meeting last Thursday said that they were in a chain store recently,
That was me.
and the clerk said Happy Holidays, and you said no, Merry Christmas. Did they make you say Happy Holidays? No.
No, she just said it covered all the holidays.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not mentioning the store, but
No, we don't need to
that
mention
is
the
their
store.
policy. That's the stuff that has to change. If I can't say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, not Happy Holidays, you know.
This is this all inclusive. I'm not all inclusive. I'm me. I'm only one. I've got faith in the one and only supreme being, not Allah, Jehovah. That's his name. Allah is the moon god of the desert tribes from ancient times in Arabia. That's not the same as Jehovah, folks. I don't care what they say.
You know,
So if you want to celebrate any of this other stuff, you go right ahead. You can say happy Shlemiel Day for all I care. That's okay. I'm not going to stop you from saying that. But don't try and stop us from saying Merry Christmas.
what's like the little girl told the atheist, if you don't think there's a God, why are you so worried about our God?
Yeah, right, exactly. And this is
It's a fourth grader that said that.
Yeah. And
I mean-
the other interesting part of this is, if there's no God, then how come you hate him, atheists?
Yeah.
If there is no supreme being out there, then why are you sweating it? Why do you worry about what anybody else does in regard to that? They're not stopping you from putting up a sign someplace, and you're doing it. All this this bull hockey about no manger scenes here or there. No, it's up to the people that control the land. Yeah, there's the Article 1 provision that says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That's only Congress. That doesn't affect a courthouse in Podunk, Iowa. But see, because you've let the federal government dictate everything now, they have taken this stuff and translated it to mean stuff it was never intended to be. And if you want original intent, which the Supreme Court rarely looks at anymore when they look at an actual constitutional item, when they look to see if something is actually constitutional or not, they make it up. They don't read the Constitution. There's some obscure federal rule that I just found out about that says that a bill that is introduced into Congress to be considered for passage as law has to have in there what constitutional clause justifies this bill. In other words, what makes it constitutional, this particular bill, if it were passed. And this one I looked at said that Article 1, Section 6, no, excuse me, Section 8, no. Small print here. Yeah, Section 8. Article 1, Section 8 allowed the U.S. Congress to decide that you and I cannot own body armor above a certain capability. Okay? Well, if you look at Article 1, Section 8, there's nothing in there about body armor. Where is it in Section 8? Article 1, Section 8 is kind of a mishmash, miscellaneous stuff. It has got, and I didn't count them all up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's got about 20 different things that it gives Congress the authority to do. Borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce, establish uniform rule of naturalization, to coin money, provide for the punishment of counterfeiting, establish post law, this kind of stuff. It's kind of a miscellaneous category. So where does it come in here? Does this come in under the militia clause? Oh, the militia clause, to provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States and reserving the states respectively. Well, is that where this is coming from? In which event, what they're doing is admitting that there's a militia of the several states. It's got nothing to do with the National Guard. If that's the clause that they're referring to in Article 1, Section 8. Okay? Is that the one? Wow. That's the only one that has anything to do with body armor and what level the militia, which is we the people. Are you admitting that we the people are the militia? Is that what you're doing by this bill? It was submitted by a Democrat. It's going to die.
But my logical question is why are they worried about what body armor we wear?
Why do they worry about what gas masks?
Yeah.
Okay, these cities that have had these big protests have banned gas masks on the protesters.
Oh, God.
Which means that the protesters can't defend themselves if somebody willy-nilly decides to gas them with pepper spray. They can't protect themselves with gas masks. Control, of course, it's control. Exactly.
It's the bottom line.
And it's all about
everything they do.
Right,
is
it's
control.
all about control. That's what it's about. That's what this bill is about. Now it's dead because the 115th Congress we just finished.
Whatever.
That Congress is dead. They're now adjourned, so they've got to start over next month. But that's the kind of garbage we're fighting here. And until y'all stand up, it's only going to get progressively worse. And do you know that drones are active in this area?
Oh, yes.
Military drones are active in this area.
I still like the drones on the border.
Well, yeah, but this one was flying over Lafayette. It was a helicopter-type drone. It wasn't a normal helicopter.
I saw
Air
one
Force
in
grade.
Monroe today.
Yeah.
A helicopter going around like this.
Yeah, but was it a drone?
I wanted to get out on my car and go, hey!
This one was definitely a drone. He got a good
close-up. Don't put your arms
close-up.
up like that. They'll think I'm doing something.
Yeah. Giving him a sonic symbol or something.
But,
But the First Amendment is okay for the bad guys,
yeah,
but it's not okay for us. This rally coming up next month, this prayer rally, is a classic example of that. Now, them protesting, fine. Let them exercise their First Amendment rights then. That's okay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's make them go over into certain locations 3 blocks away where nobody can see them like they're doing for other things.
Yep.
Let's have a First Amendment zone when this happens. I'm being facetious there. If we want to treat them the same way that they want us treated, then we've got to put them in a First Amendment zone 3 blocks from the event.
did you know that Al Sharpton was in Louisiana this weekend?
No, I didn't know he was here.
That was amazing to me. That was amazing to me that Al Sharpton was here, and I didn't hear about it until Monday on the news.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
This is good. We need you, those who can't read it because of the fine print, never forget, even for an instant, that the one and only reason anybody has for taking your gun away is to make you weaker than he is. So he can do something to you that you would not let him do if you were equipped to prevent it. This goes for burglars, muggers, rapists, and even more so for policemen, bureaucrats, and politicians. Aaron Zellman, now deceased, and L. Neil Smith in their book Hope, 2001.
And that is it.
Aaron Zellman was the founding rabbi of Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, JPFO.
Went to my granddaughter's dance thing on Saturday, and the young man that was there, that's one of the instructors, defected from Cuba and got his permanent visa. Now, why would he want to defect from a lovely country like Cuba? He was with their dance, what do they call it, whatever, group. They say that on the average, 30 to 40% of the Cuban people that go around the world, they don't ever get back to Cuba. They defect to whatever country they're in.
Yeah. Well,
Now, is that the kind of country we want? That's what Tom and I are talking about. Because if you don't think that can happen,
It's happening.
it's happening.
it is
Yeah,
happening.
it's happening.
And take a good look. We have a president, an administration, not just a president, the administration that is breaking about every rule that you can break. Every impeachable rule. It won't even change if we impeached him.
No, the guy's coming up that would replace him, Joe Biden. Do you trust Joe Biden if Obama was impeached
And then
and
after
removed
that,
from office by the
Pelosi?
Senate? And then, no, not anymore.
Oh, no,
It
not
would be
anymore.
Bonnier would be second.
Oh, that's even,
Bonnier and then the head of the Senate, and then they'd start on the cabinet. The Secretary of State would be after them.
Boner would be that.
Boner's after the
Oh,
vice president.
oh my God.
And then comes the head of the Senate,
McConnell?
right now. Well, no, next month,
No,
McConnell.
Reed is done.
Reed
Reed
through the
is
rest of
done.
this month.
No,
Reed's only hope.
He's done as of today.
Reed's only hope is for Bonnier, in this order, Bonnier, that vice presidential
Oh,
guy,
yeah,
what's his
They
name?
took care of Reed.
Yeah, Reed,
They took care of Reed in Cromnibus.
yeah, Reed had
A couple
several.
of his buddies
yeah.
in Nevada got taken care of.
Yeah, well, he's gonna need the retirement benefits. He's gonna need someplace to go when he has to retire because he gets defeated.
I'm really gonna be interested in the next 2 months in the governor's race.
Yeah, they're mentioning Mary again. I saw that today. Landrew's been mentioned for the governor's
Man,
race.
Figure out what your local newspaper is. When Mary loses badly by 12 percentage points, and they do a full page and a half on Mary Landrew, think about that. And then the next day there's another article.
Yeah, well, they endorsed her.
Yeah, I just want you to think about this. A Landrew running New Orleans and a Landrew running the state.
A lot of people are saying there's no way that Landrew could be elected to the governorship. Oh,
Well,
yeah, she
KPL
could. If they want her in there, she'll get elected.
KPEL did a little poll. I was listening the other morning on my trip down towards New Orleans. Did a poll on that exact thing. Do you think Mary Landrieu can get reelected? I really can't repeat all the comments that I heard, but they let 5 people call in, and it was 0 for Mary and 5 for the no.
Do you think we ought to send her the second case of Ghost Pop
We could, yeah.
after Pelosi gets the
we
first
could.
case?
We could do that. She probably could sell that though in D.C.
Well, yeah, especially amongst those people that call themselves Christian conservatives.
Oh.
They could sell a lot of it because they're ghost Christians, for one thing.
You know, we talk about all this stuff going on, and you know, I told you so with the vote of the Republicans.
Yep.
But then we have the other thing that just got voted in, the tax, the 1%.
The 1% here.
Yeah,
That
the
probably
1%
won't go away after 8 months.
one-time tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not 3 days after that passed, am I listening to KPEL and Joey Durrell talking about the future of doing this again. And what did I say when they had that tax?
Mm-hmm.
They set a precedence. Get ready, Lafayette. Joey already telling and setting it up. Oh, we can do this for 8 or 10 months. 8 or 10, we're going from 8 months to 10 months.
They probably have some weasel words that they're going to use legalese on to make it continue on for.
No, this one, the one that's for the airport, in actuality, they didn't have to do that because I talked to 2 ex-airport commissioners that said it would have took an extra year to raise the funds. The one thing I haven't seen is if the grants have been approved yet. I haven't found that yet. But here's the deal. Anytime, God, you would think, it drives me crazy. You'd think people would realize, don't vote in a tax.
Yeah.
Every time.
They have a tendency to not go away, even temporarily.
I got a feeling that the people that were pushing that got their base out there to vote.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Because there
definitely.
isn't anybody I talked to that voted for it.
Right.
Oh,
Yep.
no, that leads to another, no, we won't go there.
Now, one thing, and I had a big long article here. Here it is. That has come up, finally people are addressing this issue, which I was not aware of this, because, hey, do I have a staff? Yeah, right there. The executive order that Obama signed to start these monkey shines with the immigration, this is what started it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people decided they were going to look up and see what executive order he did sign. Well, they couldn't find it because there is not one.
But he did it another way,
Yeah, he did what's called
memorandums.
executive orders by another name.
Memorandum.
Form of executive action known as a presidential memorandum, more often than any other president in history.
Mm-hmm.
Using it to take unilateral action even as he has issued fewer executive orders. And this article is an excellent article in USA Today, as put in the Adverlyer today. So if you get the Adverlyer, take a look at that and read it in its entirety. It gives you a lot of good insight into these memoranda.
I didn't have time.
And the guys that are Obama's apologists, like Jay Carney, his press secretary, or no, then press secretary.
He's not the guy anymore.
said it wasn't the number of executive actions that was important, but rather the quality and the type. Well, yeah, that's key to this. If I'm El Presidente and I sign one of these memorandum telling the EPA that they're not scrubbing their toilets in their buildings often enough, which is what that's the kind of stuff they're supposed to be used for, not the garbage that they are used for. The administrative stuff is supposed to be handled with this kind of thing. Like, okay, y'all need to cut back on the number of cars you've got, et cetera, et cetera. All right. But instead, these are being used to tell people like the EPA, all right, now you need to abide by the Kyoto Global Warming Treaty and start gearing your regulations to that treaty. And this is what we told you about that thing that's going to happen December 24th with the this UN gun control thing that was allegedly, we can't find evidence, it was ratified by the Senate. But I guarantee you that Obama is going to have some kind of presidential memorandum come down about that he's going to start using. And as I told y'all on the email, this kind of stuff can be things like banning the importation of foreign-made guns and ammunition, which they can do now.
That's part of it.
They can ban that now without getting any congressional action whatsoever. Okay? And he's already done it with one of the embargoes, or one of the things he did to the Russians. He stopped the importation of some of the Russian-made ammunition and firearms, which I don't know if you folks realize this. You hunters, etc., probably have not realized how much Russian stuff has been coming into the country, ammunition and firearms-wise. There's been a lot of it. Well, from what I could tell, this embargo that he placed on this stuff was not ironclad from the standpoint of all, because the ammunition supplies have eased up coming in from Russia. Now there's more of it. But that could end very quickly. So he can implement this treaty with these memorandum. And the article points out that they don't always put these in the Federal Register. They're supposed to put everything in there that pertains to the working of the government. But they don't. This is what I'm telling you about this immigration stuff. See, there's been suits filed about the immigration stuff, which has already been a court to say that his stuff was illegal, that he did.
Yeah.
But how far is that going to go when they appeal it? Okay? We'll come back to that. That's it. You passed it up. That one there.
Yeah.
Hold that out a minute. But see, they can appeal this one federal judge. Parts of his deportation amnesty were unconstitutional. Okay? So when it goes to the next level, the federal appeals court, who knows what they're going to do. Now, on these memoranda, though, they're hidden away. They're not out there in the open like an executive order is. If you look at some of the titles of memorandum recently, they do look like and mirror executive orders. Said a guy with University of Virginia, in Political Science Department, University of Virginia, wrote an article in the Presidential Studies Quarterly. The difference may be one of political messaging, he said. An executive order evokes potentially damaging questions of imperial overreach. A memo sounds less threatening. Yeah, this is what I told y'all, either at the meeting or someplace recently. I don't know if we did that
Divisive.
Yeah, the executive orders, there's people that watch those executive orders because they're published on the White House website. That's where I went last week when I told y'all we found out there was no executive order.
Yeah, we were on the phone.
There was no executive order.
None.
On this immigration stuff. What it was these memorandum. Even Elena Kagan, when she was at Harvard Law School, before she became a Supreme Court, whatever it is, said that scholars focus too much on executive orders rather than these memoranda. She said Clinton considered those a central part of his governing strategy. using them to spur agencies to adopt regulations to restrict tobacco advertising to children, allow unemployment insurance for family leave, and require agencies to collect racial profiling data. Now, wait a minute. Allowing unemployment insurance for family leave. Why is that the prerogative of the president in an unofficial memorandum? Rather, not even in an executive order. How can he do that? How does he have that authority?
Don't.
Just on the surface, I would say that that was unconstitutional. If the Congress didn't give him the authority to do that, under the whatever rules they passed, the law does not define the difference between an executive order and a memorandum, but it does say that the president should publish it. But in the Federal Register, anything that has a general applicability and legal effect. Pay attention to this quote from Sam Adams, which we're about out of time. We might read that for you in the next hour.